Hi, I'm Colleen Bechtel.
And I'm Ryan Matthews.
And we're from Advantage Help Team at Keller Williams Legacy One Realty.
And we are here answering all of the questions you had about real estate, but we're afraid to ask.
That's right. And right now, we're going to answer the questions about appraisals, specifically what happens if the appraisal comes in for less than the sales price, which we call a
low appraisal.
Yes. What happens, Ryan, if the appraisal comes in low?
That is a great question, and can be good for some on one side and bad for the others. So if you as the buyer, if the appraisal comes in below, that opens up a little bit of negotiation time with the sellers again. So in Arizona, you get 5 days per the contract, and you have 3 options. The seller can come down on their price to meet what the appraisal is.
Okay.
You as the buyer can add more cash to meet the appraisal. Neither side really wants to do all the heavy lifting. So most of the time you kind of negotiate. This is why you need a good experienced realtor. Most of the time you negotiate and meet in the middle somewhere.
Okay. So, because really, if I'm the buyer, why would I want to pay more than what an appraiser says the house is worth?
There are a couple different options for that. So if you're looking to buy a place the real estate market's always going to grow and always appreciate. Over the last 40 years, it appreciates about 5.8% per year across the board on average. If you're going to live there a couple years, you're going to have that value. So if it's a house you want, sometimes it's worth 5, 10, sometimes 15 grand. Sometimes that happens where it's like, this is the house you want, it's worth paying the money. Okay. So sometimes you will be willing to do that if you have the cash to be able to pay that difference.
Well, and the other thing is that we all have to remember that appraisers are just people. Correct. And that every appraiser has a different opinion of value. It's one person's opinion of value on a specific day and time. So those values can vary from appraiser to appraiser. Mm-hmm. And we've seen where we've ordered, can we get a second appraisal?
Yes, only if you change lenders.
And if you're getting a conventional loan.
Correct.
If it's an FHA loan, that value is going to stay with the property.
For 6 months.
Yeah. So we've seen on second appraisals as big as a $30,000 difference from one appraiser to another. So it's not necessarily the value of the property is one person's opinion of the value that we have to use because the bank says we have to use it. Correct. That's why we try to negotiate. And it's okay to pay a little bit more than what the appraisal came in at. It really is. Right. Because we know over time, you're going to make money on your real estate investment.
Yep. It'll be worth it in time.
Yes.
Yep.
So what happens at the end of 5 days? So the purchase contract says 5 days from the notification of the appraised value. Correct. What happens when we get to the 5 days and we haven't worked it out?
So at that point, you as the buyer, you now have a couple of options. Obviously negotiate. So we had 3, and now we only have 2 options if you didn't negotiate it. So and the seller's not going to come down. Pretty much all you can do is either pay, or you can still walk away. You can cancel and still get your earnest money back. But that will be if you don't want to pay the difference, if the buyer's you can't find a happy medium, then you do have the option to walk away.
Okay. Well, that's all I think we have on appraisals. Low appraisals.
Yep.
They're not fun. They can be stressful. That is why you need a professional to help negotiate you through the process.
Correct. And we can submit, and I actually have done this, we submit extra properties back to the appraisal or the appraiser, and sometimes they will actually come up if you show the correct stuff and communicate with them well.
All right.
Yep.
Good deal. Well, if you have other questions about appraisals, low appraisals, what that process looks like, please feel free to call our team, or better yet, give us a comment type us a comment and ask your real estate questions because we love to get those real estate questions and answer them.
Absolutely. And as always, make sure you subscribe, get the bell on, and make sure just watch out for our next videos. We'll be answering more questions.